Y'all wanna hear why I wear a helmet everywhere I go?
Yeah.
God, yes.
Cores
Go
engineer.
for it.
It all started when I was just a wee baby toddler engineer in my tiny little push stroller. And Mama took me to her friend's house. She had a two-story house, man. I was sitting there in my little baby stroller, going around, man. And she said she turned around for one split second, and I went to the top of the stairs, and I was looking down the stairs. And she said I backed up, and I made a beeline for them stairs, and I'm a little toddler launching myself up the stairs. She heard a bam, boom, crash. She picked me up and examined me. I had a bump on my head. I got a little bit older, and then one day I was outside playing with my little brother and two of his friends. We were something stupid. We found us a bunch of darts that you throw in a dartboard, and we didn't want to play darts with the dartboard. We went on top of this huge grass hill, man, with a field at the bottom and a field at the top. And we was playing them like they was lawn dart javelins, man. We're throwing them as high as far as we can off the hill. And my dumb ass says, well, I'll go down there and I'll point to where the darts land, since we can't see them from up the hill. So they get to throwing some darts while I'm down there, and my little brother's friend Dustin threw one. Well, I was looking around for it, and I couldn't find where the dart landed in the grass. Eventually, them three kids came down, and they said, what's taking so long? And that's when they paused, and they were looking at me with really wide eyes, like they were scared or something. I was like, what are y'all looking at? They all pointed to my head, and I took my hand, and I felt the top of my head, and I felt that a dart stuck in the middle of my head. I freaked out and ran home with the dart in my head going, ah! And I ran in the kitchen, and Ma was in the kitchen. I ran up to Ma and Mama, with a dart stuck in my head. She went, oh my God, what are you doing? And she pulled the dart out, and I was freaking out like, did my brains come out? Am I bleeding? Do I need stitches? She said there's one little red dot, but there's another bump on my head. Well, after bump number 2 came bump number 3. I used to have a bunch of He-Man action figures, and I used to collect all the He-Man action figures, and the only one I didn't have was Orko. You pull a little string out, and Orko would spin around like a top. My little brother had that one. That was the only fucking He-Man he'd play with. Well, I'd like to set my He-Mans up, because it was hard to make the action figures stand up on their own, man. And I would spend probably a few hours just getting all of my He-Mans to stand up in battle poses and stuff like that. But my little brother came in, he saw me sitting up on my He-Mans, so he goes and he grabs Drunko and he goes, I want to play! And he pulls a little string and it knocks all my goddamn He-Mans over. And I got pissed off, and I took his Orko action figure and threw it up against the wall and busted it. And he got pissed off and walked away without a word. Well, I figured that was the end of it, so I started setting up my He-Mans again. This fucking bastard comes right back in the bedroom carrying a big metal hammer that you used to hammer nails in the wall. And he gets right behind me, and he hits me in the back of the head with that freaking hammer.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's not right at all.
I put a ringing in my ears, and I just knocked out. When I woke up, I eventually started... He stood there like, well, you got me, I did it. And he just dropped the hammer and stood there and waited for Mama to come give him his punishment. And that was bump number 3 on my head. Well, I got Grandma engineer back when I was playing outside with her dogs, and I was throwing a jawbone around so the dog would run after the jawbone. And I picked up the jawbone and I threw it as hard as I can. I wasn't even aiming. Just when Grandma Engineer came out on the porch, that jawbone hit her right in the mouth and knocked all her teeth out. Ooh.
Which head are you talking about?
Grandma. I knocked all of Grandma's teeth out.
Obviously, God. Get it together. No, you leave me alone.
Then bump number 4 probably came when I was playing around with my brother and his 2 friends again. And I had a football helmet, and we was just playing around. I picked up the football helmet by the mask, and I didn't even look in it. I just stuck it on my head, and that's when I felt something crispy crunch over my head. And I kind of paused, and I felt movement in there, and there's a goddamn yellow jacket nest in that football helmet.
Go!
No.
I got stung all over my fat head, running around pulling that football helmet off, going, running with a swarm of yellow jackets chasing me. Now I tell you what, I came home and my face done swelled up and I look like a Chinaman.
Hey, that's racist.